Hey, how's everybody doing? Good afternoon. It's me, baby girl. I am off from work and I wanted to jump on here so that we could wrap up the book, The Scrolls of Hawa. I know Chief Red Wolf has also started reading, so I'm enjoying his read. So, Chief, if you see this video, thank you so much. But before I jump on and start doing this, I wanted to show you, I did in the other video a couple days ago, the book of Genealogy by King James. Also wanted to show you the book that I was talking about, The Greater and Lesser Keys of Solomon. Okay, I knew that I had the book, but I just wanted to make sure I showed that. So yeah, it is two different books written by two different authors. If I remember correctly, and I'm just going by memory now, so excuse my memory. I've been up since like 3 a.m. I think Solomon wrote like 46 books, right? But the lesser and the greater keys are considered to be kind of like the grimoires, I guess. Maybe what I'm thinking, if I'm thinking correctly. So Aleister Crowley and McGregory Mathers wrote this interpretation of this book. Okay. So and incidentally, if I remember correctly, isn't Aleister Crowley's quote unquote supposed to be Laura Bush's a father? Am I thinking correctly? I know that's probably a conspiracy, but I'm just here to tell you from what I remember. So anyway, without me going into more chit-chatting, I want to get into the Scrolls of Hawa. We're going to read the final 3 chapters, and we're going to get into it and finish it up. I'm really excited about this book. So we're going to read chapter 20, Hawa's Legacy. Joel held the pages tightly, though a slight tremble was visible in his hands. His eyes moved over the lines as if each word had been etched into his memory, as though he could recite them without even looking. We sat in silence alone with the sound of the wind and saw what forgotten shed. Reality hit us once more, as heavy as the weight of those words. Joel broke the silence. Hawa, at 17, left the temple. It says here that he embarked on a journey beyond what they called the walls. It doesn't specify what walls these were, but it's clear they weren't just physical barriers. There are missing pages at this point, but what comes next is astonishing. I leaned in even closer, captivated by the narrative Joel was painstakingly unveiling piece by piece. His voice grew more intense as he described Hawa's return at age 39. So see, a little bit difference in age, right? Jesus, or Yeshua, was supposedly to come back at age 33 or 32, and he passed at 33, right? But we know the symbolism behind that, right? So it says, and when Hawa returned, he was no longer a youth, but a fully realized man. He had crossed the walls of deception, and his eyes carried the radiance of free lands. In the plazas, he spoke once more, not as a leader, but as a brother, reminding them of what they had always known within. Do not seek in thrones or in the shadows of the great. Do not kneel before those who offer salvation at the cost of your freedom. I have seen my Father beyond the walls, and I assure you, the source is not found outside, not in the temple or idols. It is within you, in the love you give, in the awareness that elevates you. When you remember this, no chain can bind you, no lie can hold you back. His words were simple and overwhelming, and a power the custodians could neither understand nor control. And thus the seeds of freedom began to sprout in the hearts of those who listened to him, right? Joel paused, raising his eyes to meet mine, searching for my reaction before returning to the text. Do you see what I've been telling you? Claudio, this wasn't just a spiritual message, it was a declaration of independence. Hawa challenged the entire system the custodians had built, and he did it with love, with awareness, without weapons, without violence. Is there anything purer than this? I asked, the question coming from deep within my heart. But that purity made him even more dangerous. I remained silent, reflecting on what I had just heard. Hawa's words were not just moving. They carried a simplicity that hit with the force of a tidal wave. Joel continued reading, and the words took a darker turn. And when the custodians hear of my return and of the crowds gathering around me, they will send their agents to silence me. But knowing their intentions, I will leave the city of temples, and my steps will fade into the horizon. However, understand this. They will not stop me. Even after my departure, I will be found elsewhere, speaking to the humble and the wise, leaving my message in the hearts of those ready to hear it. Joel paused, and his gaze locking onto mine. This, Claudio, is where things get strange. Some records say Hawa was killed when he tried to return to the city of temples, but there are other accounts written in the margins of these pages that tell a very completely different story. He leaned in forward, pointing to a note written in a style more recent than the rest of the text. Hawa was no ordinary man. He was a messenger of time, claiming to have met his father and the ancestral brothers beyond the walls. Undoubtedly, he was a presence meant to transcend the cycles of resets and the custodian's bearers. Those who saw him after his supposed end speak of a light that surrounded him and of the words that resonated in their souls long after he was gone. They said he comes from lands beyond the ice walls, directly connected to the source. And that is his mission, is to guide humanity towards remembering its true essence. And that is profound. That is profound words. I don't care what anybody says. I have this feeling in my heart, right? It resonates with me deeply, right? So then it goes on to say, the wind outside seemed to intensify, striking the roof of the abandoned place with almost deafening force. Joel closed his eyes for a moment as if he were processing something barely comprehensible. We don't know what happened to Hawa, he finally said. Maybe he died, maybe he didn't. But what's clear is that his message lives on, and that's what the custodians fear the most. Hawa's words could be a beacon in darkness, but they were also a reminder of the danger we faced in seeking the truth. Chapter 21, the text of Rukotov, and the connection to Hawa. It was a moment of honesty, as I believe Joel also deserved to know part of my truth. I cautiously told him that I possessed some texts from the legendary book of Shaki. These texts referenced an enigmatic figure known as Rukotov. Until now, I had kept them in reserve, not due to a lack of value in their content, but because they carry a depth and delicacy that demand the right moment to be revealed. Curiously, many had likely suspected their existence. However, I had never felt the urgency to publish them until now. Okay? After deciding to release the text of Hawa and witnessing his teachings resonate with what I have from Ruktov in the book of Shaki, I understood that this is the precise moment to unite both revelations. So I decided to first discuss it with Joel. It was essential to ensure he understood the magnitude of what I was about to share, and that it would later join texts I had not planned to release until timing felt right. The transcendence of the words and the connections that could emerge between the lines of both texts made this the perfect moment to include the text of Raktov in the upcoming book. Each fragment will open doors to new reflections, offering a broader understanding of what we consider humanity's true mission and the forces that have worked to keep us blind. It is time to release the words that have waited in the shadows. As I have always mentioned in each of my books, do not take these texts or any others as absolute truth. Truth is a personal journey, and I invite you to seek it within yourself in what resonates with your heart. Research, question, reflect on your own. Only then will you find what you truly consider to be true. And then chapter 22 is the final note from Joel, okay? And this is about Claudio, and this is the trip where he took down to Antarctica. So he did go beyond the ice walls, you guys, all right? He had some hairy stuff going on, and I've read in previous books where he talked about it. So let's read this last little chapter, Joel's note. Before concluding this first part, Joel provides a crucial clarification based on his years of study. He asserts that both within the known land and in other areas beyond visible boundaries, there exist small fragments of portions of land that, according to his research, are part of the celestial lands or terra incarnata. These areas appear to be points where the common laws of reality fade and the extraordinary events take place. Joel specifically mentions the line of absolute zero, right? You heard me read about that, and I know Chief is going to cover that in his reading, right? A mysterious territory where those who cross or even approach it have experienced visions of future, premonitions of other worlds, or inexplicable connections to something greater, all right? And then he says he believes these regions are not accidents but natural openings to the original design where the barriers imposed by the custodians weaken, allowing glimpses of a higher purpose that unites all lands and human souls. According to Joel, these places hold key answers for understanding the connection between the Great Dome, the Rukatov, Hawa, and the celestial lands. And I'm looking forward to the next book that he has comes out. All right. So, the author of Terra Infinita map and following books, The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls, Terra Infinita Extraterrestrial Worlds and Their Civilizations, the story told by the woman who was born in the lands beyond the ice walls, Land of Mars, 178 Worlds Under the Dome, Land of the Custodians, 178 Worlds Under the Dome, Hidden Lands Beyond Antarctica, the continuation of Morris's journey between interconnected planets, Terra Infinita, the trilogy, Terra Infinita, the detail of the worlds and the theory of the domes, The Navigator Who Reached the Sky Projecting Walls, My Journey to Antarctica Crossing the First Dome. I read that in the last chapter, the last series. The Dome and the Outer Space Projection, year 1728. I read that. The Last Reset, Terra Infinita Map, the Dome Worlds. I've read that. The Scrolls of Hawa, The Fragment of the Dome, and the Visions of the Deceased Beings and Experimental Lands. He has another book that's going to be coming out that I'm going to, love to read that. So, in closing, I'm interested to see what is going to take place with this next book and putting all this information together. I have reached out to him, but yet I have not heard back from him, which, I didn't really expect that he was going to reach out or either respond, to be honest with you. I know he's busy. I just want to read this one part. I know this has only been about 12 minutes, but I just want to go back through chapter 17. And I want to read this to you one more time in the closing, right? It's going to be a short video. Listen, you who seek in silence for the truth is not in what they have shown you, but in what dwells deep within you. The source, that which gives life to the breath, breathing, and the sustains the still, is not in the skies you gaze upon with longing, nor will you find it in the walls that surround you. It is here within you, latent, awaiting to awaken. The ice walls they have shown you are nothing more than the shadows of a great deception. They were not placed by the Creator, but by those who fear your awakening. You must rise from the slumber they wish you to make eternal. The custodians who come from afar wove a web of lies, and with their filthy hands they raise the veil that covers the stars and covers the lands beyond. They obscure the most beautiful oceans and replace them with these points of light, creating the dimmest version of your bodily experience. They showed you skies filled with lights, but those lights are mere projections, illusions crafted to confuse your eyes and make you believe you are small, nothing more than dust in the vastness. But I tell you again, you are infinite. Within you resides the power to break through those walls and pierce the false skies towards the truth. Before the walls, before the veil, there was a humanity that walked free. The first humanity born in Asgard knew no walls or chains. They were one with the source, and their wisdom flowed like rivers of light. If only you could see what my eyes have seen. If only you could smell the flowers of the most beautiful mornings ever beheld in Asgard. But the colonizers that driven by their lust for control, destroyed their legacy and planted fear in its place. They made you forget who you are. They told you that you were separate and that the creator is far away. They have forgotten you or never existed at all. When in truth, the Creator never ceased to dwell within you. Your souls are connected to the source, and that connection is indestructible. It is the thread that binds all things, the key that opens the gates to the celestial lands. It's inside you, everyone. It's inside you. Where you go out into these into the world, and they will have you to believe that you have to be baptized, you have to repent, you have to take communion every single week, you have to follow the creed, you have to tithe. They give a list of things that you have to do, and they say they don't add to it or take from what's in the book. But I'm here to tell you that is a distraction. It is a diversion, for a lack of a better word. You have to go within yourself True enough, it's great to have community and support for those like-minded people, but you must understand someone praying over you and asking for you forgiveness of your sins. You need to ask yourself. You need to go within yourself. No man can be over you. You have to take accountability for yourself. And what better way to push that agenda down the road and kick the can down the road than to have you looking outwardly, praying to something up in the sky when you're totally ignoring what you possess on the inside of you. See, that removes the accountability. So if you're always expecting someone to come in and save you at the end of the day, and you continually can keep making the same mistakes, you don't take accountability for your actions and you don't grow as an individual, right? You need to know that you have the power to forgive yourself, to restore yourself and be whole, because everyone in this dome has trauma. Make no mistake. The system is designed for you to put filters on and for you to carry burdens and for you to have trauma everlasting, right? And the game or the hook is to keep you in a constant state of fear, panic, chaos, and war. Right? And as long as they can keep a boot on your neck and you to not be free, then that's what's going to happen. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. And I know how that sounds, but I can't make it any clearer. I really can't. I can't make it any clearer. All this stuff is coming to a full head. It is coming to a head. I mean, most people don't see what I see. They don't see the things that I see, and they don't analyze the things the way that I do. And that's fine, because everybody's different, right? Everybody has a difference of opinion. Nobody is, no two people are alike, is what I'm trying to say. So in doing that, or in saying that, you got to understand that the system is designed. The system is designed to keep you at a lower state of vibration. And once you understand that, sorry, I'm logging off. Once you understand that, then you can start to heal yourself. You can start furthering your journey, right? Because it's not just enough for you to know this information. Obviously, you have to put it into practice, right? You have to put it into practice, and you have to understand that you already have a connection with Source. You were born with everything you need. The hook is if you step outside yourself and you're distracted by all these things like football and concerts and the latest fashion and vacation and Dancing with the Stars and football games and basketball games and, family gatherings and cookouts and crawfish boils and, these concerts over here and college and all these parties and things like that. All the shit that is external and doesn't give you it doesn't help you spiritually, and it doesn't help you to grow. It doesn't help you to get your connection with Source, right? We're running around here like ants in a damn ant farm, not doing anything. Our energy is constantly being siphoned, and it is constantly being utilized. We're utilized as energy sources by energy vampires because they thrive off the chaos, they thrive off the confusion, and they also utilize our physical avatars for food. Do your research. Not telling you something that you shouldn't already know. My point is that that's the bag. That's the game. That's the hook. If they could keep you looking outside yourself, you would never have time to discover what truly is inside yourself and reconnect with the All-Father, because you're too busy going to church fish fries and going to this christening or this pastor's dinner or this vacation with the church or this thing with the church, and you too busy doing external shit. You ain't working on the internal relationship with the creator of all. And then you are brainwashed thinking, oh, well, when I die, I served the Lord. I did this for these people. I did this. I did that. No. What about yourself? What about the relationship you have with your creator? Because that should be number one. That should be first, right? You got to learn to love yourself, and you got to learn enough. You got to be strong enough to push all that shit back and say, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. How is that making you a better person? By running around all these different places and spending money, wasting time, when you could be spending time in silence with the creator of all. Not to say you can't do those things, but you need to do it in moderation. And I see, when I go on social media, I see people's pages, I see scrolling, I see all kinds of, I'm like, these people are so lost, they have no idea. They don't understand. They're running around here with all these distractions to keep them from the very basic thing of looking inside themselves and regaining the knowledge that was once lost. We are God's incarnate, lowercase g, right? We live in creation. The Creator doesn't need anything from us. We need it. And we've lost or severed that connection. And it was all by design. And it was all done for a purpose. But now that you know, right? Now that people are coming out and speaking out about it, you have to search within yourself and use your own discernment. If you want to stay stuck on stupid and stay stuck in the world, that the fabricated world that they gave you, then go right ahead. You ain't got nothing to lose, but you will be coming back in this cycle. I'm just simply saying, I'm not trying to come back, and I'm not trying to keep continually doing these do-overs. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm here now, and I understand that, but you must know that we are infinite beings and we're greater, so much greater than anyone could ever imagine. And the more you stay stuck in the system of lies and perversion, the further it will drag you down, and you won't be able to get out of it because it's like quicksand. So enough is enough. You got to pump the brakes. You got to stop. You really got to rein that shit in. I'm just saying, do what you want. I'm just giving you the information. If it resonates with you, then that means to tell you that you're waking up. And that means that you see the perversion and you see what's going on. Whether or not you want to participate in it, that's your choice. You want to participate in it, that's your choice. We all have choices. But know this, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's clear. It even says it in the text. I don't have the scripture over here, but I know it's in the text. I've read it many times before. I don't remember what chapter. I don't know if it's Matthew, Mark, whatever. It's in the book. And the creator of all, Jesus, our brother, if you want to call him that, Yeshua, our brother, Hawa, whatever you want to call that being as, because there's been multiple beings that have come here as Kalki avatars to try to set us free throughout history. And then what do? They change the text, and they change it, and they turn it into sort of a perversion by giving you half truths or knowing it's encoded and how to break down what it is, right? So in closing, because I don't want this to be longer than 25 minutes. In closing, the takeaway from this book is that there have been individuals that have died to get this information out. You don't have to believe anything. Search it in your heart. Read the text. Buy the books. Read the text. Meditate. Pray. Study. You'll start to see that things are not the way they should be. Something is very, very wrong. And am I saying this is 100% truth? It could be 100% fiction. It resonates with me that I know that this world is jacked up and I know who's running it. I've read too many books and I've seen too many things, and I've had things to come into my life, right? Things that are not of this world have come into my life at various points in time. So I'm speaking from my own experience to let you know that, yeah, this is worth investigating, and this is worth taking a second look at. Really, truly, seriously. Anyway, I appreciate you guys finishing up the book with me. I appreciate you supporting the channel. I appreciate all the feedback. I know I don't always check my messages, so I may respond a week or two later. I apologize. I'm not tethered to my phone 24/7, right? I do read. I do other things outside of that. I crochet. I have my family, my husband, my children, my grandchildren. So I am a busy person, but know that I appreciate your support. Know that I am here, and I'm a champion for you. I'm a champion for myself. I'm a champion for man and woman in the known lands. We need to wake up. We need to snap up out the coma and remember the precious gift that we all have inside of us. When I come back, I'm going to get into the Book of Wisdom, and we're going to finish that off, and then we're going to start on volume 2. And I'm also going to read Murder of Reality and get back into the alien world order and a couple of other books, the Anunnaki Wars, because I believe it's very good foundation for you guys to understand and have that as a reference and as a key, right? We're not the only intelligent life forms that's ever been created. That is so much further from the truth than anything. And religion and other indoctrination will have you to believe that we're the only ones that exist, and we are not. Okay, especially when it comes to the paranormal side of things, or the cryptic zoology side of things, which I am a avid fan and avid researcher of those things. Right. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great afternoon. As I always say, be the change you want to see all around this dome in the known lands, because it's up to you and I to make that positive change. And never fear, because you have never been alone, right? You possess this energy, this gift, the creator of all. And for me, it's exciting to know that the creator has always been there monitoring everything we do since we were pushed out of our mother's womb, right? We had that direct connection with source before coming into these avatar bodies, before we were born into these physical 3D reality. And now that you know the truth, now's the test of what you do with that information, right? I'll talk to you guys soon.